turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Tongue grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question, but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Off the Chest of Timothy Regal. Alex, I don't know what number episode this is anymore. Folks,
this is episode infinity, because
yeah,
this episode will last forever in our hearts.
So, obviously, it's been a while since you've...
You still there?
The world went completely sideways. And
I don't think I ever posted that episode.
Oh, we did an episode right when the world started to go sideways. I don't think we ever actually posted it. Okay, I forgot about that. So basically, here's what's been going on. As far as where I'm at, I am an essential employee, and have been. I did at one point a stretch of 14. Just finished a 6-day run, and now I have 1 day off. Then I go back to work. It's been very stressful, obviously, very hectic, and obviously we're recording via Skype because of
the virus.
And
I think our call quality would be better if we don't do video. Because it's less bandwidth. You just click on the camera. Because you keep freezing on me, and I can barely see you anyways.
Alright, turning video off. And I'm not gonna... Quality content that we give the people here at Off the Chest.
This is what the people came for.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, yeah, we just life kind of went sideways, and we didn't put out an episode, but we had we'd been with.
You did not turn your camera off.
Okay, shit.
Okay.
I don't know.
Keep going.
I don't know what's going on here.
Okay.
This is the wonderful quality content that you get here on Off the Chest of Timothy Regal, because I'm probably not going to edit any of this shit out. So essentially, working so much and everything, it's been very stressful. It's been very hectic. And obviously, there's obviously not a lot of wrestling to talk about, unfortunately, due to the crisis at hand. SCWpro and all local wrestling has stopped running. And Alex, you've had a big development in your life. You want to talk about that at all?
I will say that Margaret and I are recently became licensed foster parents, and there's another person living in the house now, and I would let you put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of detail I can go in about that legally.
Yeah. So obviously there's big things going on, and I'll address it right off the top before we kind of have a little bit of fun with this. That yes, this is goodbye for now from the Off the Chest of Timothy Regal podcast. It has been a great run, obviously. We only missed like 2 or 3 episodes in the entire 2 or 3 weeks in the entire run, and those were pretty much recently because we just kind of.
So we went like over 2 years without ever missing a run, and then this is exactly what I was afraid was going to happen. Once we missed the first one, it was kind of like like the seal had been broken, and we started. Then it was kind of like, yeah, we'll take a week off. We'll take a week off.
But in our defense, like I said, a lot of stuff's been going on, even before the world went sideways. That a lot of things were going on for me and you, and we'd already kind of made the decision that this podcast was going to go on a hiatus, possibly forever. We don't know yet.
I think we're coming back.
I think when the world gets right, I'll tell you when the world gets right, which I believe it will, hopefully sooner rather than later, that even if it's not in this form, and it might not even be, possibly won't be off the chest, I will probably get into some type of wrestling podcasting again. Obviously, like I said, there's a lot going on. Everything I've said right now. Everything in life is fluid right now from it, whether it's because everything changes day to day. Obviously,
and I will say this: I am hereby retiring from full-time professional wrestling podcasting.
Alex, you egg-sucking dog. It's me.
Here's the guy that knows the thing or two about retiring.
Terry Funk, Alex, and I gotta tell you, you know darn well that in professional wrestling, we never really retire.
I said full-time.
I've retired 58 times, Alex.
Have you really?
It's probably close.
Wow.
You're gonna be okay, Alex. Old Grandpa Terry's here to tell you, even though you're an egg-sucking dog, and your mother was
You better not.
No, I'm not. I can't do that. That's part of the impression I can't do. Your mother's a lovely woman who I actually happen to. She likes me, so.
Or she's a hell of an actor.
But we did watch WrestleMania.
I forgot. Do you remember? I forgot.
Yeah,
you were like, we'll talk about WrestleMania. And I go, did I watch that? Oh, if you have any question about what my brain chemistry is like right now.
And obviously, it's been 10 days. We're not going to go match by match. I will say it was fun. We figured out a way to make it fun. We did the old Google Hangout. We had you, me, the man who counts 3, John G, our boy Adam.
Yep.
Had some special appearances by Mr. Luke Raven. Our
site chat.
Yes. The world's greatest martial arts master, Sensei Bach, joined us for a little bit.
Chris Angle, former SCWpro referee, and one of the 3 people that'll listen to this podcast.
Oh, exactly. But no, all in all, I will say that I really thought WrestleMania was better than I expected it was going to be. I thought it was going to be terrible. I was not expecting to have any enjoyment out of it, but I think, especially, I will say, I feel like even though it was by Google Hangout, we were laughing, we were talking. It was, nice to be able to talk to some people because, honestly, as anybody who doesn't know, I am single and basically spending the majority of my time when I'm not at work.
Hard on the road.
Isolating. No, I'm not spending my days working hard on the go, unfortunately. But I've pretty much, when I'm not at work, been, because of the fact that I am exposed, I've been self-isolating. So it's been kind of rough at points, but it was great to just watch some wrestling, even if it was via computer, talking to friends, and just laughing and joking. No. Obviously, a lot of talk about the cinematic quality of WrestleMania. You and I were both of the same opinion, pretty much.
Yeah.
Which did you enjoy more, the Boneyard match or the Firefly Funhouse?
this is a cop-out, and I hate to give a cop-out, but, like, how can you even compare them? Like, they were so different. You know what I mean? Like, I will say the Boneyard match felt more like a match, and I like that. But, the Firefly Funhouse was such a, I know your boys on the Voices of Wrestling hate it, so I'm surprised you haven't changed your tune about it yet.
No, this is proof that me and Lanza don't agree on everything.
Yeah, I'm surprised. But I liked the Firefly Funhouse. I thought it was fun. I watched it twice, and I feel like that helped. I feel like I had a better understanding of it watching it twice, a better appreciation of it, and the psychology behind it. Because it was really, I mean, it was a psychological piece, and I thought it was well done. But I liked both. I don't know which one. I think I'm gonna say I liked the Boneyard match better, only because I feel like they took the cinematic wrestling concept and made it fit in a pro wrestling frame a little bit better, in a pro wrestling structure a little bit better.
Yeah, see, like you said, they were both different. I compared it to this, that the Boneyard match was the end of the 80s action movie where the grizzled action hero comes riding in on the steel horse to take on the evil, cocky, arrogant bad guy. Whereas the Firefly Funhouse, essentially, to me, the way I described it, and I think the best way to describe it is, the Firefly Funhouse was the, Captain America level babyface going into the supernatural comic book horror movie villains world. And so they're both different, but they, if you're gonna have no fans, which I'll be honest with you, I've watched a lot of the content that has had no fans on it. Some shows are better than others. I kind of like AEW's approach of having the other performers around the ring to at least give some semblance of there being some feedback. But for the most part, I feel like if you're not going to have fans on the shows, you might as well make the most of it, do something a little bit different. You had a unique opportunity to do something here that was cool, and it basically gave The Undertaker the best performance of the Undertaker character we've seen in years, because it wasn't a traditional wrestling match and it was shot like a movie. And in that instance, you're able to make The Undertaker look like The Undertaker, that essentially him converting back into the American Badass character, and it made him look like he did back in 2002. So I thought it was great. Now, the Firefly Funhouse, you can't even really call it a wrestling match, but it told an amazing story, and it was, like I said, essentially a comic book story. Which honestly, and I've said this for years, the reason I got into professional wrestling when I was a little kid, when I was about 7 years old, was because these guys looked like real life superheroes. So what is wrestling if it's not, a superhero story told out on a 20 by 20 stage? So for me, I loved it. You're gonna get people, oh, this wasn't pro wrestling, and hey, as soon as Jim Cornette hated it, I knew we were on the right track anyway. So
did he hate both of them?
He said he didn't hate, completely hated the Firefly Funhouse. He said he didn't mind the Boneyard match, but he said that it shouldn't be called pro wrestling, basically. That it should have been called something else. But he said for the essence of what they were trying to do, he didn't hate the Boneyard.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on the empty building, performance center, QT Marshall's gymnasium shows?
God damn.
What's so funny?
Your joke. You just gotta wait till the last episode to be funny. Anyways, I'm gonna just be honest. I think they're grossly irresponsible, and I think it's gonna. I literally think it's gonna take. I mean, he's this is the guy, and this is the guy who has literally had an employee die on the job and finish the show and made the rest of his employees perform in a crime scene. So, like, it's not as surprising as you wish it was, but I think it's grossly irresponsible. And I know that you're going to be like, but it's wrestling, and come on, Alex, the boys, the business. And I think it's grossly irresponsible. I think it's greedy, and I think there are other ways that you could create original content or use some kind of, like, you could, every week could be, John Cena talking about his favorite matches, and you could have John Cena at his house giving you an intro to a match, like illustrating stories of their careers and things like that. I think it's grossly irresponsible, and there are ways you can create original content without putting your talent in danger, because those wrestlers are being put in danger, and they're being traveled all across the country, which is causing the virus to spread, and it's grossly irresponsible, and it's disgusting, and I don't think it should be happening.
So here's you're not wrong. Here's the crazy thing where I think my opinion slightly differs, because, and I hate to say this, because I've had to go to work every goddamn day through all this. But I was okay with it.
But if you could stay home, if you had the option, if they said, we will pay you your same salary to stay home, and you could go and not be infected, if you didn't have, you would stay home. You would not go to work.
No question at all. Absolutely.
Because it's not safe for people to be out.
Absolutely. But so I was okay with really just, we're gonna tape we're gonna get people together, we're gonna tape a bunch of content, and then we're gonna send everybody home. Which it's 8, by what we've read, what we've heard, what we've been told, 8, which hopefully by the end of May we might be a little bit clearer. Again, that's me being.
Did you see the latest report that came out that basically said it doesn't look like we're going to be back to normal until, like, fall of 2021?
Your live events are going to be the last thing that come back, so that's a given. But so my thing on that was, I applaud where it's like, hey, we're gonna try to put something together. I like the AEW approach, obviously, a lot more than going live every week. I like the, film everything for 2-3 months, then we're gonna send everybody home. So I think that's where we're going. But I want to talk a little bit more optimistic stuff. Obviously, I want to, I said the other day, it's like, dude, I'm just already thinking about how great are the comeback shows going to be. What's the first?
You're cutting in and out really bad.
Really? Because you're coming in crystal clear on my end. So.
Of course, because I have great internet. What did you ask me a question?
I said, what do you think the return shows are going to be like? What do you think that the I'm trying to see if I can turn my camera off.
If you go down and you click on your camera, it says turn video off.
Yeah, I just did that. Okay. So I think
that should help your bandwidth.
Okay.
So, what? I mean, I don't know. Like, when is it going to be back to normal though? Because even if they June 1st, which I think is highly unlikely, if June 1st they say, all right, everything is safe. We've beaten the virus, and everybody can go back to work and save the economy. I mean, save America, save entertainment, which really save the economy. There's still going to be people that are afraid to leave their house. I think anything feeling normal is, I don't know. I don't know if the first show back is going to feel normal, because the odds of everybody feeling comfortable and safe to come back at the same time, I think, are pretty slim. I think it's going to be a gradual return to normal. And to be perfectly honest, I don't know that the world will be the way it was before.
But
maybe that's just me being kind of pessimistic, but
I just want to envision that, we get back to normal, and that wrestling, and that we can get back, and that because I will say this, I'm missing it already. It's
I miss it too.
Since this is the longest I've gone in a long time without wrestling, and it's really unfortunate, because I feel like, obviously, this happening right before a huge media weekend for so many friends and people that we know, it really sucked the life out of everything. But I do feel like once we get back, I hope that some of the return shows are going to be, these guys are going to be wanting to go so all out. I think you're going to see some absolutely amazing professional wrestling. I'm looking forward to it.
Can I real quick clarify that, like, what I communicated there is not what I hope happens, but it's what I think is going to happen. I'm not saying that, like, I'm glad wrestling is gone and I don't want wrestling to come back. Obviously, I love wrestling. I want wrestling to come back. But I don't think it's going to be like flip a switch. All right, wrestling's back. I think it's going to be gradual, and I think it's probably a long way away from being the way it was.
Can we talk about the SCWpro quarantine poll, or
the quarantine house?
Yeah,
I just threw that together this morning on a whim. I made a meme.
How did you randomize these, or?
What do you mean? Each house, okay, so each house has a top babyface, a top heel, a female, a tag team, and a non-wrestling personality.
Okay, so that's how this works.
Yes.
Okay.
Is it not extremely obvious by looking at them?
I realize that now. Yeah. So
how did you what?
House 1 being, of course, my personal favorite.
Obviously.
I just put because, well, number one, I'm in it. House 1 is myself, Chuck and Elena Black, and the Corn Belt Cowboy, the one called Manders.
That's right.
So here's my thinking. I don't know how living with Johnny. That's gonna be rough, because Johnny likes to. Let's be honest, Johnny likes to rib me. Our good buddy, the Corn Belt Cowboy, he's probably gonna be trying to chop me every second that he gets. I'm probably ending up with a voodoo curse put on me by Elena Black, and
for sure.
And I'm making the Brewsters sleep in a tent in the yard, so which they're used to anyway. So
which house other than your own would you most like to be quarantined in?
I'm gonna say I'm gonna go house number 4.
Really?
Well, you got my good friend Rain Victoria. Actually, I'd have to pick. I'd probably have to pick house number 5.
Yeah.
Because you're there.
Yeah.
You have my good friends Latin Thunder and Cornboy.
I can't believe I put myself in a house with Corn Boy.
Yeah, you put yourself in a house with Corn Boy.
You notice I didn't put Corn Boy and Izzy B in the same house.
Well, Izzy B is probably very, very thankful for that. Trust me.
Yeah.
And again, we'll make corn. Corn will sleep. Corn. We'll just tell him that we'll plant a few ears of corn in the. We'll plant a few corn stalks out in the yard. He'll just stay out there.
Yeah.
So we got our boy Latin Thunder, my close personal friend Blair Onyx, obviously. She doesn't. That wouldn't be very good for you. She doesn't like you.
I don't like her either. I tried to make hard choices. I tried to put at least one or two things in there that weren't too desirable.
Yeah. I'm not too keen on. I wouldn't be too keen on.
In house 3?
Yeah, in your house, but I think living with the front man, Mr. Excitement, Josh C, would be a pretty entertaining possibility.
Yeah, it could be. Now, I think house 5 would be kind of fun.
House 3 is the one that I don't see how that's gonna survive. They destroy each other. You got the Suge and Xander Killen, who absolutely hate each other. You got Heather Reckless and Sabotage and Blake Wiley, who
they don't like each other either.
They don't like each other. And then Commissioner Morrow, who, let's be honest, he doesn't like anybody. So
right.
you got to think that's a house that's going to have a lot of problems.
Which house is going to be the most jacked at the end of the quarantine, and why is it house 2?
No, it's house 4.
You think?
You have
Travis Titan, Roosman, Joyce, JT Energy, Beck. Yeah, you got a good point there.
Okay, house 4 is going to be. House 2 may have less body fat, but house 4 is going to be bigger.
Fair enough.
And my poor friend Rain Victoria, I can't imagine what living with Joesa and JT Energy would be like.
Yeah, I can't either.
Who knows what living with Joesa is like? I can't imagine that.
Are we gonna do a last episode spoil? No, I won't do it.
Then what do you think of House 6?
House 6. I was actually worried that I made that house too desirable.
We got Dante, Benjamin Carter, Valentino Loca, Crotch and Thumb, and then as much as we all love him,
you wouldn't want to live with him.
Do you want to live with Merrick Brave 24/7?
No.
We all love Merrick Brave, but let's just face it. That house is just Merrick Brave telling everyone what to do, and Crotch probably complaining a lot.
Yeah. It's all true.
And then Ben is probably just speaking well, you can't understand half what he's saying because he's British and
wow. Hey,
just kidding.
Just some good old fashioned racism for the last podcast.
Now breaking the fourth wall. Anybody that if you ever read my Twitter timeline, you know that Benjamin that I can make a joke because Benjamin is one of my boys. But these were some fun houses. It'd be interesting to see some of this stuff. This could be a reality show for sure. See, that's the thing. Did you see Jay Marsden's comment to it?
My response?
You responded to it? A lot of things done out there. Nice. Yeah, Jay Marsden's like, guess I'll just sleep outside. Now it's been it's one of those things. Like I said, we're trying to make the most of it. Have you seen any? Well, you watched a little bit of Joey Janela's Twitch stream. He did another one last night that I caught for a few minutes. Joey Janela basically going on Twitch and doing running commentary on like random, like he'll throw up really good indie matches. He'll throw up, weird Japanese stuff. He throws up, he's done a couple where it's the, Mystery Science Theater. This match is terrible, but we're going to watch it anyway. Which, trust me, folks, especially when you get in the business for a while, sometimes you have a little bit more fun watching the really bad stuff.
Oh my gosh, the death match in Brazil? I didn't even know there was wrestling in Brazil. That's literally the most memorable thing for me from that stream.
It was a girl's birthday, apparently.
Well, they said it was a quinceañera. There's no way that was her 15th birthday and they were letting her have a death match. Because the quinceañera is a 15th birthday party. There's no way they were letting her have a death match. First of all, she didn't look 15. She looked young, but not 15.
But it's been fun. Like I said, a lot of dude. Shout out to like all the like IWTV, High Spots, everybody. IWTV stepping up, basically doing, releasing new content every single day onto their service. Ring of Honor.
I haven't watched much other than Scooby-Doo in the last couple of days, but
yeah, Alex's wrestling viewing habits are probably going to change going forward, at least for open-ended amount of time. The one Ring of Honor posting a ton of free YouTube content, and apparently through all this, Ring of Honor is getting. They posted, I guess they posted some stuff from 2010. It sounds like they may be working backwards on the tape library, but basically a press release from Ring of Honor saying that they are working diligently on getting the entire back catalog up on the Honor Club streaming service. Finally, it's like, I'll say, if they get the back catalog up on Honor Club, that's probably going to get me to resubscribe to that streaming service for a while. Yeah, because there's so much greatness. Actually, just 1 minute ago, Ring of Honor put up a BJ Whitmer versus Mark Briscoe match from 2014. I know there's a lot of Tyler Black matches that have been posted on their YouTube channel. So, if you want to see some wrestling, there's a lot to go out and find. I know New Japan put up the New Beginning USA Tour shows for free on their YouTube page.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. So there's been a lot of great wrestling that from companies that has been put up. Game Changer Wrestling stepping up with IWTV, putting up a lot of Game Changer stuff that I've been checking out. I'll tell you one of the funnest things that I've done wrestling wise in this Sunday before WrestleMania. They did IWTV did IWA Mid-South We're No Joke from March of 2007, from the day before WrestleMania 22 in Chicago. Of course, that is the show with The Spot, our buddy Merrick Braves, famous oopsie daisy on a shooting star press. But myself, obviously doing a watch along and tweeting about it. But like myself, Nick Manawa, Dave Prazak, a lot of members of the Jim Fannin, a lot of members of the IWA Mid-South family from back in that era, tweeting out and just reminiscing and talking memories of all of that era of IWA Mid-South, which for anybody out there that's listening, obviously, Chris Angle can speak to it because he was ref. I know Angle's listed. He can speak to it. He refed a lot of it.
He ref for IWA a lot?
He did quite a few shows there in 05. But the thing with IWA Mid-South in that era is, I mean, before Game Changer and AIW and companies like AAW, IWA Mid-South was that company. You had CM Punk, you had Colt Cabana, Matt Sydal, Delirious, like Low Key, Necro Butcher, Samoa Joe, Claudio Castagnoli, obviously Tyler Black, Merrick Brave, and go back and I always say the Ted Petty Invitational 2004 is probably one of the, if you look at that lineup of 24 wrestlers, is probably the greatest collection of talent you're ever going to see. Pretty much everybody in that tournament went on to have major careers, whether it was an Impact, WWE, Ring of Honor, etc. So just so awesome to get to do a watch along with IWTV and just talk about memories of what that is. The wrestling community, I think, is responding, that we, the tagline of this is essentially we're all in this together. And I feel like the wrestling community knows, hey, it stinks. We're not able to be, together right now, but we will be again. And I think, just like in anything, you keep that fandom going, whether it's watching old content or whatnot. But dude, it's been great. Obviously, no. So, should we talk about? This is our final episode, Alex. So I'm gonna ask you, favorite memories of this show.
Probably, I think a lot of people would say, maybe my CM Punk rant.
your Punk rant, I think, is definitely going to be up there in the pantheon of great moments. Which, I mean, I will give myself a little bit of credit for perfectly setting you up for that one.
By being a perfect hypocrite.
I gave you the layup on that one.
Well, how about you, Regal? I mean, I just think of all the fun interviews that we did. People that stories we let tell, like Bobby Dahl and Stephen Youngblood and Nevin Knoxville, just getting like all of these guys that hey brother, handshake back in the day when that was still legal.
I think the first real one was the crotch was when it was Crotch and Bobby Dahl on the show, where the three of us just sitting down, just kind of talking about old things. And the one who I really think gave us a lot of insight was the Shug.
Yeah.
Shug really, going really deep into, kind of his thoughts about pro wrestling. Obviously, I mean, we had Merrick Brave on the show, and then Merrick Brave decides he's going to take you and go do a podcast of his own.
God, I'll never forget that day that I got that text. It was it was when we were doing like three weeks on, 1 week off, 4 weeks on, 1 week off. You know what I mean? Like just going crazy with shows. And I was so happy to not have a show. But I was also like, oh my God, what am I gonna do with my Saturday? And I'm at the mall, and I thought I was bored. And then I got a text, hey, does anybody get drunk and talk about wrestling on podcasts? And I was like, oh God.
Here comes on our podcast for one interview.
Probably.
To do his own. But no, it's been definitely fun. I think everybody that we've had on, obviously, and to the people, when we were helping out, promoting other shows, whether it was SCW or when the couple of times where we did it for Revolver, Dave Christ was a great interview on the show.
Yeah.
Dave gave us a lot in depth into his kind of mindset toward wrestling, and hopefully with this unfortunately forced time off that wrestling's had, I know Dave was nursing through some injuries, so hopefully when we're ready to come back, he's able to come back. My boy, well, even though I liked him then, I don't like him so much now. Mr. Ricky Shane Page was on the show.
Yeah, oh my God, I forgot about that.
then he kind of, became as I call him, the deathmatch Judas. The guy that thinks he can, try to take over in on Game Changer Wrestling. But no. So we've had some fun. Whether trips to AEW, LaSalle, trips to remember that one trip we made to Revolver and had a tailgate party, and I got a lot inebriated.
Yeah,
You
I
might
remember
remember.
that.
I don't remember much of it, but
Probably remember that better than you do.
yeah, you do, 'cause I remember the time I watched a death match and you didn't. At Revolver.
Yeah, was that the same show?
No, that was a different show. That was.
Oh, okay. They all blend together.
Yeah.
Remember when we were making towns? God.
Yeah. But obviously
we never planned for this to end, but we said, when it stopped being fun, that we would stop doing it, and it really never stopped being fun.
It's not that it stopped being fun. It's that it became that
doing the podcast never stopped being fun. Finding time to do the podcast is not fun anymore. And that was the same thing with BB Brave.
Yeah, let's be open and honest with that. Doing the podcast, me and you talking, because let's be honest. I think there was a day last week where I think me and you, between two different phone calls, were probably on the phone almost 2 hours.
That doesn't surprise me.
It's.
I mean, a little bit less lately, but we still talk on the phone almost every day.
Yeah, and our conversations obviously with your recent event have been a little bit shorter than they normally would have been, but yeah, me and you are still talking every day. I mean, I always said we could basically just record our phone conversations and do a podcast every goddamn day if we wanted to. I don't know if anyone would
really listen. Nobody would listen to that.
Yeah, nobody would want to listen to that, but we technically could have done that.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. But yeah, finding the time, and I think, like I said, when the world gets right, I will probably be doing something in the wrestling podcast realm. I know someone reached out to me. I may be doing something and I've had several people on Facebook telling me for a long time that I should be doing something in the movie realm. Which, folks, let me tell you, you think I miss wrestling? This is the longest I've ever gone without being in a movie theater, probably since I was like 11 years old. So it's rough. I recently started rewatching all the Marvel movies in order on Disney Plus.
Oh, really? I thought about doing that. It wouldn't be rewatching for me. It would be watching for the first time because I've only seen like 3 of them.
Yeah, you've only seen a select few Marvel movies. So but no, obviously, Alex, there is definitely one thing we should do on this show.
What?
We should thank our guests.
Yeah, thanks, guests.
We should thank Bernie. We gotta thank both Pauls. Paul Heyman.
Regal. The following announcement has been paid for by Joe Biden for president. I don't know if you saw it or not today, but I have officially endorsed Joe Biden to be the president. And, well...
Bern, how you holding up?
I'm burning up inside, but I'm going to pay all of my full-time employees health care through November. Did you know that, Regal?
Yeah, I heard that. Obviously, Bern, I'm a little sad that you're not going to be the nominee. We were looking forward to free wrestling for everybody, but
free wrestling for everybody.
Maybe you can talk to Joe.
1% are gonna pay for it. Who?
Talk to Joe. See if he can make that happen.
If I can get that on his platform.
Yeah, maybe we can.
Maybe. Anyways, I'm out of here, Regal.
All right. But
Oh, yes!
oh Jesus,
I heard that this podcast was about to become dead like my Undertaker!
I guess I walked right into that one, didn't I? Hey, Paul,
Oh,
did you
yes!
did you hear that episode of that other podcast this week where they were talking about you?
I haven't listened to it yet, but it's on my download streams in the great beyond.
Is he gone?
He's gone.
Ugh.
Say
Ugh.
goodbye to the bad guy.
Scotty, how you doing, buddy?
That's it. I'm just saying goodbye to the bad guy.
Bro. Alex. Bro, Alex. Alex, you see?
What?
Alex, bro.
What?
Have you seen me? Have you seen me on Vice, bro?
Yeah, I saw you.
I'm telling you, Jim Cornette is crazy, Alex. He's insane. He thinks it was all my fault. It wasn't my fault, Alex. It was Jim Ross. He's the one. He said, "Oh, Doc, ain't no one beat Dr. Death. Hello, Ma, huh?" But it was Bruce Pritchard. It was Jim Ross. I didn't do it, bro. I didn't do it, but bro.
What?
Bro.
What?
I heard that your podcast is ending, bro, and I'm really sorry. Sad to hear about that. But I want you all to know that you can go listen every single day to Vince Russo's The Brand, bro.
Yeah.
Since you've obviously got podcast time open, you should listen to Vince Russo's The Brand, bro. Bro. I'm out of here, bro.
Terrible.
That's your buddy Vince.
That is not my. I have no friends named Vince.
He only talks to you.
I'm not a fan of anyone named Vince.
But
there's no one named Vince that is currently of value in professional wrestling.
Wow. Vincent? What about Mike Jones?
Mike Jones, Soul Train Jones.
Vincent, Curly Bill. He's
very valuable.
You ever think how's he doing with no Olive Garden?
Are they on Grubhub?
I think they're on DoorDash. So hopefully Mike's okay. As long as you can get
thoughts and prayers with Mike Jones. AKA
absolutely. As long as you can get that meat,
Virgil.
As long as you can get that meat sauce delivered.
Right. Good grief. As my good friend Charlie Brown would say. Good grief. All right.
Obviously, I was hoping maybe he'd be here, but hopefully he's quarantining himself. Like I said, has anybody checked to make sure Rick's okay? I'm worried
about when you're living life.
Rick.
Regal.
How you doing, buddy? You holding up okay?
How are ya?
I'm good. Are you okay?
I'm doing fine. Fine and dandy. I'm going out every night, drinking the finest water, and we are living good.
Hey, Rick, where are you going? Nothing's open.
It all depends on who you know. And you know what I know?
What?
The greatest booking decision in the history of WrestleMania was to have Ashley beat that Reno Ripley.
Did you say Reno?
Yeah, she beat Reno, didn't she?
Rhea.
Looked like Reno.
Oh wow, Akira Tozawa's got a match.
Who?
Akira Tozawa?
Should be watching Ashley matches.
Well, she hasn't been on yet tonight, Rick.
TNA, total nonstop Ashley. Woo!
Yeah, that could have been something you could have done a few years ago.
Yeah?
Rick, are you sad that we're coming to an end?
You're dead?
No,
What's gonna end?
No, Rick. We're okay. Well, okay. The podcast is coming to an end.
What podcast?
Off the Chest of Timothy Regal, the podcast you're on.
I'm on a podcast?
Yes. Jesus, are you sure you and Jared Thumb aren't related?
I've only had a couple of drinks.
I mean, Rick, did you ever come to Muscatine?
There a time or two. Let me tell you, there was this good-looking lady there. That's all I'm gonna say. I hear my good, close, personal friend Merrick Brave also finds her attractive.
Okay. No, Rick. When you come in and interrupt us, we're doing a podcast.
Really?
Yeah. I wasn't sure you were fully aware of that.
Okay.
But yeah, this is our last episode.
Okay.
So you got anything you want to say to the people?
Ashley for champion.
Alright. We love you.
Regal, let me tell you something, baby, if you will.
Dust.
The American Dream, live and live in color on the podcast, live via Skype. This podcast brought to you by Skype, Mellow Yellow, AEW, Tony Khan, Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Slam Fam Wrestling Network, of which I am a member.
Hey, Dust.
What's going on, baby?
Biggest thing right now, obviously, I want to ask you about. What do you think about Cody gonna take that TNT title home?
The TNT title, exploding death matches. You know, Cody, he won some exploding death matches back in Croatia, baby. I booked it, I tell you. And that's what it is, right?
No, TNT, the network. You know, it was like where
network?
you used to do Nitro.
ECW,
yeah.
Don Callis?
No, different network.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I know you were there. I can see where that could be confusing for you, Dust.
I was there, baby. I booked that.
You didn't book that, Paul.
Paul who? Paul Bunyan?
Paul
Crockett? Yeah, but who taught Paul Heyman everything he knows?
You did.
Who did he want to be when he grew up?
You.
Who do you think was the greatest talker in the history of the business?
Ric Flair.
What? Get out of here with your Ric Flair. Oh, by the way, Regal.
What's up?
Rick said he forgot to give you something.
Oh, really? What was that?
Anyways, baby, yes, Cody's gonna win the TNT Championship. Obviously, don't be an idiot, Regal. Anyways, I'm out of here.
Alright.
One last time, relax. Take a drink with me. One last time. Let's get this right. We're gonna teach them how to say goodbye. You and I. Closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay. Actually, you do have to go home. My goodness, we're in a quarantine. Go home.
Yes.
You do have to go home, and you can't stay here.
Closing time is 8:30 p.m.
Yes.
Never in a million years did I think I'd ever see the place I work at close at 8:30 p.m., by the way.
Yeah.
So,
is there any toilet paper?
so I'm gonna stop saying this. I got a text from somebody yesterday, basically asking how the heck what time should they get there for toilet paper because they were almost completely out. And I won't say that his name starts with a K and ends with Roch, but
Did he really?
yes, he did.
Gave me the time, right?
Huh?
Told us the time.
Yeah. But, well, I guess this is, as they say, I will end this by saying that if you take anything from this podcast, I want you to understand that out of this podcast, I have a person I consider to be a best friend and a brother. So, I will, if we never do another show, I will be forever grateful for this show, for basically developing my friendship with Alex McCarthy.
Yeah.
And through that, I'm developing a friendship with your now lovely, wonderful wife, Margaret.
Should we try to get her?
Now,
Margaret!
we almost do need one last what?
What do you need?
You want to be on the last episode?
How much longer do we have?
We're going home right now, but we didn't want to end it without you.
Obviously,
she's fine.
Sure.
What?
All right.
There it is, the last one. She's not here, but we almost forgot. We definitely we definitely can't leave it off without thanking the high voltage cat.
Absolutely. And Adam, who filled in when Margaret and I got married.
Adam's been on the show, great friend of the show. And
we never got Zach on. We never got Zach on,
unfortunately.
I think what we're gonna do after this is when we have very specific things that we want to do. We're gonna keep our YouTube channel. So our Podbean, our podcast feed is probably gonna go away because we don't want to pay for that again. But we're going to. You thought that was funny. We're going to keep our YouTube channel, so maybe occasionally if we feel like doing something, we'll throw something up on YouTube. But the podcast is done for the foreseeable future unless we are inspired and motivated and financially motivated to revive it. And now I have less than 2 minutes to do Pipe Dream 89. So week one, show one.
Stop him.
No. Now, guys, like I said, I got two of my favorite people in the world out of this podcast, and it's, something that I will cherish forever. And if you take anything from me personally, it's the fact that I hope that this podcast has shown you that I truly, I wouldn't be the person I am without professional wrestling, and especially SCWpro and the almost 20 years now that I've been doing this. And so, as we say in the business, you never say goodbye. It's see you down the road, because you never know where the business and life will take you. So, with that, for Timothy Regal and Alex McCarthy, we'll see you down the road.
Get on down the road.
So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos of memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. the